You are tuned in to the Dine Shop Play Texas podcast, powered by Speak Loud Local. Join us as we discover incredible places to dine, shop, and play all over Texas. Sit back and listen as we explore new places, hear their stories, and learn where they're headed next. This is the Dine Shop Play Texas podcast.
Hey, you guys, welcome to the Dine Shop Play podcast. This is our first episode, and I'm really excited about it. We're going to see kind of how it goes, but just to give you guys some context or some background, the Dine Shop Play Texas podcast is going to talk to different businesses around Texas, and we're going to learn a little bit about them. We're going to find out about some of their expansion. We're going to find out about where they came from, where they're going, all in an effort to give you guys a kind of behind-the-scenes picture of who these businesses are and the people behind them and how they're impacting the great state of Texas. So the guy I have with me today is Joseph Bickham. Did I say it right?
That's it.
See,
Bickham.
I got it. I nailed it. He is the CEO of Fuel City.
That's right.
And I nailed the title as well. I really appreciate you coming on here. I know it was a when I reached out and I said, hey, I want to do this podcast. It's our first episode. There's no info or context at all, but I want you to be on it. You were like, okay.
Yeah, I'm in. Well, after you'd done that promotional video before our startup, you did such a good job with that.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed seeing you and your family come out during our opening and stuff, and I knew whatever you were going to create, it was going to be good. So
I appreciate that.
Had to be a part of that.
Man, that means a lot. I appreciate that. If I had some sound effects, we'd get some hand claps or something, but we're not that fancy. We just try to keep it simple. So we make it pretty easy. Well, we got a list of things we want to kind of run through here, and we don't want to drag it too far on. So obviously we want to jump in and talk about Fuel City, and what I'd like to do is I'd like to go back to maybe the beginning or a little early on. Can you tell us about Fuel City, maybe the beginning, the idea, where did the concept come from?
It's a good story. Yeah, it's a long story.
Okay, well, hey, you know what? Cliff Notes. There you go.
I'll abridge. I'll cliff.
There you go.
So the beginning, I wasn't there. The concept actually began in 1995.
Wow.
And so the founder, John Benda, Dallas entrepreneur, born and raised in Dallas, he, in his mid-30s, was looking for a career, had an opportunity to go and shadow for free, didn't pay for it, didn't earn any money. For 3 months, worked with this guy in a little smoke shop, a little C-store in downtown Dallas, just trying to figure out what to do. And he worked in, he's like, man, I like this. I love the interaction with the customers. Cool. Saw an opportunity to make some money, have a business.
Yeah.
And so he put all of his money together, raised a little bit of money from family, and he bought that shop that he was shadowing in.
Oh, wow.
And so it started in downtown Dallas, and that was back in the late 80s.
Okay.
Mid to late 80s. And so kind of pieced together a couple stores, was in the C-store space around Dallas until 1995. He built his first store over on Inwood. He operated that for a little bit. It was a small store, kind of a traditional size, 2,400 square foot.
Right.
Sold it, found some success, but he built Fuel City Dallas, which everyone knows is the kind of the flagship model over there at 35 and 30 in 1999.
Okay.
And so that was groundbreaking. That was like an industry innovation, because back then every store was small, and it was all about which corner were you on and how quick could you get in and out to get your smokes and cokes and whatever it was.
Smokes and cokes.
And there wasn't any integration of QSRs or restaurants inside C-stores at that time. So now that's more commonplace. But back then, he's actually on jury duty up the road at Lusterix. The courthouse there. And so he's on lunch break and jury duty. And he's driving down. He's trying to find some place to eat. And he sees this sign on this big old 7-acre tract of land. He's like, man, look at all these highways, 35 and 30 right there. Industrial was busy. And he was like, I think this would be a good site for a store. Yeah. And noodled on it for a little bit and, did something that no one else was going to do.
I was going to say 7 acres is huge when you think of the concept.
7 acres, everything was 36,000 square feet, everything like that, 3/4 of an acre.
Yeah.
And so took it down and had this really cool idea to kind of make it like Disney.
Yeah.
And so the Disney magic.
An experience.
The experience, exactly. So like expansive offerings, really, really excellent service, but then also like unique experiences.
Yeah, like a Longhorn?
Like a Longhorn, yeah. So that was the first Longhorn ranch. And he had 3 or 4 Longhorns down there in the city of Dallas, right? Mind you, you can see Reunion Tower, and you can see the Longhorn. Yep. And, he wanted to show people what Dallas was like before it was a big city, and also just kind of making an attraction. And so he put a swimming pool in, of course.
I mean, why not? Why would you not?
Yeah.
You already got Longhorns. Go for a swimming pool.
Swimming pool, and there was a drive-through, dinosaur statues, all the typical thing. And then the tacos. The taco program has always been a part of the Fuel City brand.
Oh, so was that from the very beginning?
From the very beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
cool. That's really the most probably unique part about us is that from the beginning. Now a lot of restaurants are combined with C-stores, but
sure.
the fact that we had always had that connected and had that separate reason to drive traffic and profit center, and also break out and demonstrate that, hey, you can get good food, quality food at a convenience store, at a gas station. So yeah, that's kind of like the origins. So that's 24 years ago now.
No, I mean that's incredible. And then it almost leads into the second question I had for you. But what makes Fuel City unique outside of live animals and tacos? And I think maybe the swimming pool kind of hit it.
The swimming pool, and then the multitude of offerings. Really, I think it's the Texas experience. We've been coined Texas in a nutshell, and so from the decorations to the hospitality.
Yeah,
this idea of customer service. Everyone says you're not going to go into a store and they're going to say, "I don't do customer service."
Right.
You're not going to meet a banker that says they're not a relationship banker.
Sure.
In marketing, every marketing person is going to say they what?
They market, and I'm great with working with my customers, and they love me. And
and everyone's going to say that, but we actually do that.
Sure.
And then we try to take it a step above, and we try to have hospitality. So when people are here, we have signs that say "Welcome home."
Yeah.
When you come inside the store, because we want this to feel like a home. We want this to be an experience. We want it to be positive. We want you to feel good, even if you don't know why. When you get here, when you leave, so you share that experience, and then you want to come back.
Yeah.
And so
I enjoyed that. I want to go again.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of like the ethereal concept.
When you adopted too, you carry local vendors things too, which is I think very cool. Like you have the taco side, which is obviously you guys, but you have when you walk in and you look at some of the desserts and the treats that are sitting out. To me that's unique too.
100%. So that kind of goes.
No knock at Little Debbie, but to be able to walk in and be able to see something that's from
Latham,
up the street.
Yeah, but Jim's Jerkies, Latham Bakeries, that's what you want. You want local stuff too.
Yep.
And that's where it kind of goes into our slogan, where dreams come true.
Yep.
Perhaps you've heard about this at Disney.
Maybe.
Where dreams come true.
Yes.
And they do have that trademarked, but for amusement parks. And we got trademarks
for
C-store,
for
gasoline sales, and for car wash.
That's awesome.
Booyah.
Yeah, hey.
And so you see out there on our canopy right there, says where dreams come true.
It does. It says it right there. It's one of the things I noticed when I came out. I was like, the neon.
On my coffee mug.
Oh.
Where dreams come true.
Of course.
So it's a little tongue-in-cheek, but it's also the idea behind, hey, our vendors, local vendors, we're trying to make things happen for them. We're trying to be good partners for them. For our customers, they come in, we're not trying to just give them the bare necessities that they came in for, but also give a little joy, share some, share something positive.
I like that a lot.
Really
it opens the doors for other people too.
And so then from a business concept, like how do you market that? How do you make people's dreams come true? How do you make something Disney in a convenience store? And so you make it fun, but then you also offer a bunch of stuff. And so every single day, every hour of the day, every day of the year, we're open. We're selling food. There's check cashing. We have gasoline. We have truck diesel. We have Catskills. We have a car wash with detail service. We have award-winning food. We got all the normal items that you'd find inside of a C-store. We got beer over here. We got 20.
Let's say right behind us. Why do you think I set the camera up this way? And we'll cover maybe some a little bit different of what makes this particular location we're sitting in a little different. But it's the offering.
Yep.
It's the offering. When people think of a gas station, this is not a gas station.
No, it's a destination.
You have that element, but it is a destination. It is something that people want to truly come and see for more than. I can't even walk, when the camera angle doesn't show it, but I'm sitting across from a Little Caesars Express that I can't even walk in Little Caesars and get the speed of service that I can get from this booth that's right here inside of this Fuel City.
There's a synergy when you add all this stuff up. And for a long time, we'd call ourselves a travel center because we'd be on major highway systems and different things. And so, but there are other people that do that better than us.
Oh, sure.
And so we're not a travel center.
That's okay.
And then we call ourselves a destination.
There you go.
The Grand Canyon is kind of a destination. So we're really not quite that.
Sure.
So we're like a destination station.
There you go. Have you trademarked that yet?
No, I just came up with that the other day.
No one go steal that, okay?
Destination
no
station.
one steal that.
Well, I'll get my
get on that today.
Working on it right
there
now.
You go.
But destination station. So and then I'd say one more thing that makes us different and unique is that, man, we just whatever we do, we try to do it really, really well.
Yeah.
We try to do it really, really well. We try to be grateful for where we are, what we have, the locations, and then we try to be just faithful about executing and doing. I think it's George Washington Carver that said, if you do the common things in life in an uncommon way, you will command the attention of the world.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. So we really try to do, whether it's cleaning the restrooms, it's stocking the shelves.
And it's simple. I mean, it's intentional, but it's simple.
Just trying to do that stuff. Awesome.
Yeah. I love that. Well, hey, while we're on that, we're talking about, things that make you guys unique, and we'll get to where we're sitting at right now. But I mean, was the plan, I guess, from the beginning, you talked about him being an entrepreneur and a business owner, was the plan always to expand and to have multiple locations? I mean, was that in the forefront always, or was it like, let's prove a concept and then do it? Or when did that, was there a moment, or was it from the very beginning? We're going to open one, we're going to prove a concept, and we're going to open 50. I mean, what do you think from the beginning?
That kind of evolved. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And so, there needs to be a plan.
Yeah.
When John opened, so going back to 1999, when John opened Fuel City Dallas, I made it. In his words, it nearly killed him.
Yeah,
right? He put everything. It was big gamble. It was
I bet.
Big expense.
Yep.
Entitled it, built it, ran it, all that stuff himself. And he wasn't old, but I mean, he was well into his career, and he found a lot of success with that. And he had some other things going, so he's like, I'm done. I don't want to do another one. That was a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
So when I started working there 2005, when I was in high school, he's my mentor, and so he kind of taught me the business and worked out as a cashier. I did bookkeeping. I did check cashing.
Literally learning it all, kind of.
I did. Yeah. I did third shift for a summer. It was really funny. I was staying in an apartment up in Dallas, and I'd go at the end of my shift. It'd be like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'd get a 6-pack of beer, and I'd go back to the apartment, and I'd sit in the hot tub.
Yeah.
This is my end of the day.
Yeah.
And so I'm relaxing. I'm sitting in the hot tub, and you see all these people waking up and then going to work at 7:30 in the morning, 8, and they look at that guy and like, man, he's got
it made.
Well, he's got it made, or maybe he's got a problem. What's he doing sitting in there in the hot tub at 7:30 in the morning
cracking a beer?
It's like, this is the end of my day. This is my nighttime.
Same thing you're going to do tonight at 7:30 or 8:30 p.m.
Yeah.
I have to do it now. This is my life.
But it's just, yes. I mean, it was, so I think together the plan.
Fun fact, I worked at a convenience store, and I worked third shift in my younger days.
Which one?
I did. It was a little Exxon over off of 75. And I worked, and I usually would catch all of the club traffic. I'd be there, and it was a hole in the wall.
Did you do weekends?
It was, yes. And it was, there were, those stories. There are stories for days.
Wait, what was the cross street? 75 and
75, and it was Knox. Was it Knox?
Oh, is it so like in Dallas?
Right off of Dallas.
Yeah, you got some traffic.
Yeah. It was in the stories. I don't think we could ever. I don't think there's not enough time in a day.
I think we got to do another
podcast
just on that.
Talk about gas station stories, and that one was
like graveyard stories.
Yeah,
we could call it the graveyard shift.
They were there. There's a lot of them. Then
it's a totally different world when the sun goes down, the moon comes up. Like,
yes.
It's funny. I was trying to put my kids to bed last night, and I told Boone, he's my middle, and I was like, Boone, it's time to go to bed. Get in your bed. And he looked at me, he goes, I don't go to bed. I'm nocturnal.
Oh wow.
And I was like,
how old is he?
He's 4.
Oh, he's got some answers to your questions.
Well, he's got mind, and he's got vocabulary.
Yes.
And he's also got some.
I have one of those.
In his belly.
I have one of those. My youngest is that way. Yeah. I tell everyone that
she's either she's nocturnal, so she doesn't have to go to bed.
She didn't tell me that, but she has said some just stuff that we go, where did you hear that word? Like, how do you know what it means? And like she is. I tell everyone that she's either going to run the world or destroy it. Yeah. Like I don't really know which direction it's going to go, but she's a genius. Let's keep them separate. Yeah. I don't think they should ever meet.
No, I think they should meet.
Maybe they should meet.
I think we need to get these. Yeah. Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a girl.
Okay, mine's a boy, so they need to meet.
Yep, that works for me. So that's awesome, though. I mean, so how many locations do you guys have currently?
So when I came on board and I learned the business and all that stuff, and after I graduated college, like he's my father-in-law.
Okay,
so I didn't tell you that. So how I met him was how I met him was I was dating his daughter in high school.
Okay,
and so we were going steady.
Sure, there you go.
That's what you do back
then. That's
a
throwback.
You go
throwback
steady.
term.
So we were going, and I would hang out with John as much as I'd hang out with McCall.
Sure,
because he's such a cool dude.
Right.
He and I got along, and we drive around. We go check on the store. And then he's like, come work for me. I was like, okay, that sounds awesome. I was working at a commercial moving company at the time, so it was a lot better. Yeah. And so after I rejoined after college, that was the plan. And it was, hey, you got a concept here. This is awesome. This is unique. And
it's working.
It's working.
Yeah.
And it's replicable. Like we can replicate this. Like this is not just because of this location.
Right.
This is not just because of this store, any single feature. This is the idea. This is the mindset.
Everything.
This is that big idea. So we went on a growth tear. And so, 2015 we opened Mesquite. Yep. And then since then we've opened 6 other stores about every 18 months.
Okay.
And so we have 8. This is our 8th store.
8th store. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love that. So 8 stores. You named Mesquite. We know we got Dallas. We're going to, I guess, officially announce we're sitting in the Wylie location, and we'll get to that in a second. But what are the other, I guess, 5?
So we went to, after Mesquite, we went to Haltom City.
Okay.
Over on 121 Haltom Road. And that's a really cool store. That's got a Longhorn ranch in the back. And we've rotated in some exotic animals. We have camels right there.
That's awesome.
We just had a baby zebra born, Sunshine, over, I think, January.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so then we went to Saginaw on the north side of Fort Worth. Went back to Mesquite for an express location near the other Mesquite location.
Cool.
Went to Cedar Hill.
Cedar
down
Hill.
on 67.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Dallas, Northwest Highway, and Harry Hines.
Okay.
Then went to Wylie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And then also in the interim, we did some other things. So we built some, expanded some of the existing sites like Saginaw. We took down 4 acres right next to it, and we built a truck parking plaza.
Very cool.
And so that was really cool. And then we built an off-site kitchen.
Oh.
And so it's a commercial kitchen, acts as a commissary.
Yeah.
Does a lot of the front-end processing and everything for the stores.
Right.
Still everything is cooked fresh at location, but this guarantees the quality and the consistency.
Yeah,
and so
that makes sense.
It's awesome. So it's been a busy 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, y'all have been on a tear.
And then here, since you mentioned Wylie, we just, so we're sitting here and it's March 10th.
Yep.
And can we say what date it is?
Yeah, of course 10th? You can. Why
March
not?
10th.
It's March 10th. Hey, March 10th, everybody. Mark your calendar.
And so we opened Wylie on December 30th of 2022. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, I'm from Wylie, and I live here, and so it was pretty cool getting to see you guys open. But you mentioned it. We are sitting in the Wylie location, and I kind of threw out the, Little Caesars. But there's a few things I know that maybe the general public doesn't know. But what makes the Wylie location in particular a little different than any of your other locations? I mean, we didn't get any Longhorns, which we'll talk about that another day.
Yeah.
But what are the things that make this location unique from the other Fuel Cities?
Well, first on the Longhorns, I told Mayor Porter that we were planning on putting some yard art out there and some Longhorns. He's like, I'm okay with the yard art, but the Longhorns, and I was like, where'd you go to school, Ms. Porter? He goes, I'm an Aggie.
Like, there we go. That was the answer. I already knew where that was going.
He's like, why don't you put some big cats out there? There's that big cat exhibit. I'm like, I think that's going to scare people.
Yeah, you just got a tiger roaming around.
Just like
around the road.
That way.
Insync Exotics, yeah.
And they're going to say, oh, God, they're out. They got out.
That's not going to be
5.
It's not even an attraction. It's like they just escaped and they're roaming around.
I think it could scare some people.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
But this location, man, first off, we were looking in Wylie for 2.5 years before we bought this property, and knew is where we wanted to go, but we weren't quite ready for it, and I don't think it was quite ready for us. And so we kind of came at the right time, where here on the east side there was just a lot of development going on.
Yeah.
And we're really trying to find the perfect spot, and so this location's perfect from an access standpoint,
right,
in all ways, with Centennial behind us and Eubanks on the side, and in connection with the city. I know that North Texas Water is also redoing Eubanks. That's really helpful, and expanding that. It's 2 lanes right now. It's going to go to 4 lanes.
Yep.
And then we put a couple driveways off of 78. So access to this site's fantastic, but also we wanted to make it something different and unique. And because we're not on a highway system, I mean, 78 is a thoroughfare, it's a highway, but it's not an interstate.
Sure.
We wanted to make it a little bit more of like kind of like a community store.
Okay.
And so it's still a destination station. Right?
For sure.
Want people from far and wide to come here and check it out. Destination station. But we have an expanded patio here, and so indoor patio we have at one other store, but all the other ones are outdoor. This has got an indoor and an outdoor. They flex, they transition. Outdoor patios, 4 seasons. We got heaters, we got lights, we got fans.
It's awesome.
Got TVs in here. Then we have on-premise beer.
Yep.
Right, and so we wanted to make the day part, the evening, wanted it to be fun for kind of everyone to come here with your family, to have a taco, to have a meal, not just grab it and go, but also sit and enjoy, watch TV.
Yep.
Watch the game, and then have a pint, and then have access to some of that local craft draft.
Because that's y'all's thing with the beer behind me. I mean, it is, you have some of the traditional, what maybe anyone would come and ask for, but the majority of your menu, when I was looking at it, it's local stuff. Local stuff,
yeah. Breweries out of Denison, breweries out of Dallas,
that's
breweries
awesome.
Out of Levon.
Yep.
I don't know if we have anyone Wylie specific there.
We'll work that out.
In the surrounding area.
We do have a brewery that's coming, so
okay.
we'll work that out.
Yeah.
I'll introduce you.
We're in it. And the idea is that we're going to rotate it around.
Oh, for sure.
And so like every 60 days, our goal is to rotate maybe 2 of the taps or 3 of the taps or something. So we want it to be like they don't just have the usual suspects. every time they come, it's like there's something new. It's exciting.
I'm one of those. I'm your ideal target. So thank you for that. I'm that guy. Like when I go into restaurants, I don't care where I'm going. I'm going to Shreveport next weekend, and if I go to have a drink, I'm gonna be like, what's something that you have that's local?
Yeah.
Even if they don't have beer.
And
like, I'm not a huge mixed drink fan. I mean, I will, but I'm like, what's local or what's popular, and then I want to try it. And sometimes I don't like it, but it's an experience. I think it's just part of it.
You got to go to Abita down there.
What is that?
Abita Brewery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mark it on the calendar. I'll watch this back and write that down.
They got
a
beer. That. I went there that was a long time ago, but they got one's called, I think, Gator Andy. It's a great one, but that's a good local brewery.
I'll have to go check that out. So you touched on it a little bit, but I do want to make sure we touch on it. So, I mean, why you said you had your eye on Wylie for a couple of years, and I always like knowing that, from anyone that we interview, whether it's Wylie or Austin or Waco or wherever, why though? Why did you have your eyes on Wylie? Was it, you mentioned the development on the east side, things like that, I mean, but why specifically were y'all going, we want to be in Wylie?
A couple things. One, a great city to work with, and that's super important. So like in our industry and with the project size we have, typically we have multiple SUPs.
Yeah.
And whether it's drive-through, it's a car wash, it's truck fueling, or whatever it is. So you got to have a city that's a good partner, that's business-minded, that understands the value. We're a great economic driver, and so we,
for sure,
great employment, great tax revenue, ad valorem, everything like that. But you still got to have a city that's going to work with you. And so, I knew some of the folks at Wylie, through some banking connections through the EDC, and so I understood that they were business friendly, and they're a group that we could work with.
Right.
I mean, that's number one. I mean, you can spend a lot of time and a lot of money on a site, and it could be a good site, but then the city ultimately says no. Yeah. And then what are you going to do?
You're right.
And so,
because you got to spend all that money up front, like you're going to be dropping some coin before it's even a yes or no.
There's a lot of it, but then also the KCS. I mean, that was a driver too. So I mean, they have 900 loads going in and out.
Yeah.
So for looking for the mix that we're looking for, where we're looking for growing community, we're looking for rooftops, we're looking for good traffic, we're looking for maybe an underserved population. Sorry if anyone's listening that has a local station already, but they. There's so many people out here, there's so much traffic, and there's so much demand, and there's very little supply for the type of what we bring. And so I thought, hey, man, we could, not that it's a little pond, but it's a smaller market with fewer players, and so we could be a big fish, we can make a big splash. And so that really showed up whenever we were doing our hiring initially. Great labor market out here.
Yep.
Labor is tough everywhere, but here, a lot of really good qualified applicants. People that have been at their jobs for a long time and just want to change, want to try something new.
Sure.
And because so that was fantastic. And then Wylie's just been on a growth tear for a long time.
No doubt.
I think maybe about 7-8 years ago, maybe 10, you guys, the city positioned itself really well as like, it's a great place to raise your family.
Absolutely.
Move out here. It's in the country. You have access to the city. We got great schools.
Right.
That's
why I'm here.
Freedom, America,
there
Texas.
You go.
All the best stuff.
Yep.
And those kids grew up, and so people did that. They listened to that message. Those kids grew up. They got older. Some of them are in high school. Some of them left. And so you got a lot of young families here that are empty nesters or with older kids, and there's not a lot for them.
Sure.
Or there's fewer things for them. So they got to go to Murphy. They got to go.
Absolutely.
Saxe. They got to go someplace. So I think Wylie was also a good fit for like, hey, we're gonna bring like a restaurant here. We're gonna bring a really, really cool destination station, but with a restaurant here where it's gonna be open 24 hours. We're gonna have a drive-through. We're gonna have a patio, a place to hang out.
Yeah.
And as I drove around Wylie, it looked like that was a need.
For sure, I agree.
And so kind of a lot of those things. And
I like that.
And then there's some hard data that we look at when we select sites.
Oh, sure.
We use a tool called Placer AI and different things, and so there's a lot of evaluation. But
traffic and things like that, I'm assuming, yeah.
But, it checked all the boxes, and we're loving it. Since we opened, it's been performing awesome. And
that's cool.
First couple of weeks, we had like a line out the door like every single day.
It's so awesome.
And it's still staying busy. So and then we're opening the car wash. It was delayed a little bit in construction,
right?
Because this is weird times ordering equipment and everything.
Oh yeah, it's weird times across the board with all of it. Yeah.
So that's going to open in May, and really looking forward to that. And I noticed that your truck is a little bit dirty.
Yeah. It needs a membership package. It's going to have to sign up.
Can't wait to get that and wash the truck, and then hopefully we can do a video whenever that one's coming out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But the last time, I will say that what I won't do is the last time I attempted to fly a drone through a car wash.
Oh, yeah. How'd that work out?
It crashed.
Yeah.
So we won't do that. Maybe what we'll do is we'll put me in like some type of wetsuit and I'll walk through it. I mean, maybe, and I don't know if OSHA has a thing to say. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we just don't ask them. I don't know. Yeah. Forgiveness, not permission sometimes.
I might get you to sign something for you.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely we'll sign a waiver. But no, and I think you touched a lot of kind of we're leading right into kind of the next questions I had for you. But I mean, you touched on, why Wylie, but you also touched on really what you look for in any location. There's just some key drivers that go into those. So I appreciate you already answering that question. But speaking of next location, any plans? Maybe
got our eyes wide open. This is about the time that we start.
Is there a map or a direction that you would love? I mean, north, south, east, west, or anything you got your eye on?
We want to stay in Texas right now.
Sure.
And we want to stay around the DFW Metroplex.
Okay.
Because we're family owned and operated.
Yeah.
And so managing, staffing,
no doubt,
operating. Then we're vertically integrated, like with the offsite kitchen, with fuel distributorship and all that. So staying around makes a lot of sense, and there's goodwill.
Yeah.
So like when we opened up Wylie, a lot of the folks that came and visited us, they were like, "Oh, I've heard about you, or I've visited you another store. Like I like it," and that's awesome. So we want to capitalize on that.
Sure.
So around the area. Everyone's saying go north, and north.
That's what I'm hearing.
Salina's blowing up. And surrounding area. I know Prosper.
Prosper. I was about to say Prosper. Yeah.
I mean, they've been prosperous for a while. If there's any land, it's difficult because we need 7 acres, kind of at a minimum, and then the hard corner and the highway system criteria and all that. So, but we're looking. This is about the time after open a store that I start really looking hard to because it's stabilized and we got a really good crew here.
Oh, yeah.
And our GM is awesome. Yvonne, shout out. She's doing a great job here. Shout out.
No sound effects. We could give her something, but
shout out.
There we go. That's our own sound effects.
But yeah, so we're looking and interested too. If anyone listening to this has an idea, has a site, if it's a city that wants to bring us, and then kind of work with some of the real estate owners and try to make something happen. If we have to assemble something, but we're looking to no hard vector, and we're kind of open to looking at options.
North sounds great, but you're not opposed anywhere else.
No,
just keep it in the ideally within somewhere in the Metroplex would make the most sense.
Yeah,
or reasonably close.
Reasonably close, surrounding area.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, nobody wants to go to Oklahoma.
No, that's not the reason the compass points north.
I didn't say that.
I mean, I love our neighbor to the north, but I'm just happy for them to stay up there. And stay down here.
That's what I joke with Wylie's mayor, Matthew Porter, and I said, man,
is he from Oklahoma?
No, but I was like, I am a Longhorn fan. I'm just born and raised in it. Can't help that. But I joke with him, and we give each other a hard time all the time. But I'm like, I mean, at least you weren't a Sooner. I mean, like I just don't know we could ever even talk at that point. But Aggie, at least I can get along with you. But anyways, jump back on. I think that gives everyone, and we will. I mean, that's the whole purpose of this podcast is we want people to hear the story behind who you guys are and where you came from. But ideally, where you're going and any connection point that we can try to make or help with that. We'd love to do that. But I know I've heard a lot, even as of recent, some conversations I believe you've had with the local EDC. I mean, but I know that you guys do a lot. Beyond employment, employment in a community is huge. Being able to employ people that live here, work here, and that are looking for a change. But y'all do a lot. Y'all are involved in the communities that y'all get in. The events that happen within the city, whether it's a city event or nonprofit stuff. I mean, just briefly speak on that a little bit. I know that that's just a passion thing of y'all's that y'all want to make sure that you're involved. So I mean, just speak on that a little bit because I think it's important. I'd love for people to hear about it. Yeah.
So I mean, it's different for every single city. Sure. The opportunities are robust. But really, we like to learn from the city what some of their priorities are. First off, and work and support those. But our heart mostly goes to the school districts typically, and so I mean, like we'll kind of do a lot of stuff. I mean, it's hard to list it. I mean, we're all over the place, from jerseys and different events and Taste of Wylie, but really, what we like to contribute most is to the school districts, and so in Cedar Hill, and something I'd be open to doing here in Wylie as well is we just wrapped a pump, and so 3 cents for every gallon. And there's 2 sides, so it's really 2 pumps. 3 cents for every gallon go to the school district.
That's really
funding,
cool.
And we committed to do that for 6 months, but really we're going to do it for a year probably. And so it's awesome. So really good collaboration with them.
Are people fighting over those pumps? Do you have a line at them sometimes?
We do. And if someone goes there and parks and they come inside, then they have like 3 people swarm over there and say, "Hey, you got to move! All right,
people
you got to move."
People are trying to donate money here.
People are trying to pump here. So that's awesome.
Great.
So partnerships.
Well, that's
like
unique.
That.
I mean, it's what you guys do, and that's kind of what I wanted folks to hear. I know that you were talking to Wylie about the taste of Wylie and just different things, but I think it's just neat that you guys. I mean, that's a unique concept. Is to go, we're going to wrap a pump, and then you come and get gas in 3. I mean, that's just neat. That's neat that you guys kind of came up with that and to work with them.
And I think you're successful. The more successful you are. Is a function of the success you have at a location is a function of how you really embed yourself in that community. Yeah. And so, again, this is more of a neighborhood store.
Sure.
And so that's important.
Yeah.
And to go and in life, you get what you give.
Right.
I mean, everything goes around, and so, that. So anyway, that's important to us, and we love that. And I think, and it's also just like we had people coming in here. Just like 2 or 3 times a day whenever we open. I saw them I'd say, "Hey, I saw you this morning." Like, "Yeah, but I'm back."
And
and
I got the breakfast tacos, not eat the lunch tacos.
And they say, "Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming here.
Yeah.
Thanks for choosing Wylie. We needed this. This is awesome."
No, I agree. I agree completely.
We love that. So,
and I think there was, just like with any location, and we won't jump into any of the naysayers or whatever it may be, but I think that you have some that just need to see a concept be proven. I think they have to see it to believe it type of thing. If you build it, they will come type of, Field of Dreams thing. But I think that that's the reality. I think that once they see, sometimes you have to step back and from a concept or idea, and initially you think of all the bad things about it, of like traffic and this and that. But when you see the reality of what that business actually is and what they will contribute and the jobs they bring and the real side of it, I think that there are certain businesses that maybe, I don't even know, aren't good for a community or something. Maybe there may be some out there that, are more just like they're going to build something, 5 employees, and it's going to pollute the air. I mean, that's not great. But I think in reality, when you step back sometimes and you look at what a business, I mean, for us in particular, not everyone watching is going to know exactly where we're sitting and then go look at a map. Yeah. But where you guys are and where you're located, it's y'all become from a city, EDC, developer, however you want to look at it, y'all become an anchor here.
Yeah,
and
for
that
sure. And unlock a lot of development.
Absolutely. Yeah. You open up some other developers or other businesses that go, they're not going anywhere. So for us to open across the street or to the right of them near the police station, that would be smart. Yep. And what it does is and we already know, I mean, what it does for the local economy and jobs and, revenue, just everything. It winds up affecting the entire economy and most people don't know that. Most people don't sit back and really think about those things.
Totally right. And a great example is when when we were under construction for the store, I would get a call or 2 a month asking, "Hey, do you have any pad sites available? I know right next to you because I know you guys are doing that Fuel City. Is there, I want to build next to you." I'm like,
"Yep.
Dadgummit, we should have bought land around us." So, but there are pad sites developing by their neighbor right next there, and as a function of us, and so that's gone through after. See across the street over here. I don't know
something's happening.
I don't know if it's imminent, but they've cleared it.
Yeah.
It's assembled, and
something's gonna happen.
So people attract people.
No doubt.
And businesses attract other businesses, and so we're happy to have kind of initiated that. I don't think we initiated it. I think we were on the front of it, and there's stuff there's stuff coming down. So that's awesome. And as far as at each location, not at all of them, but most of the time there's someone that comes out and has questions about, hey, is this basically the highest and best use of that property? Yeah. And oftentimes we're buying evergreen space. We're buying raw land, and so it's a big green field. Maybe there's corn on it like there was on here. It's empty. There's a couple of cedar trees or something. Right. And so some people will come out and they're like, well, I like the field. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's green. I get to pass it on my way home, and it's peaceful. And it's like, yes, that's true, but it's not creating any income for the city. Yeah. It's not helping build roads. It's not helping fund the school. Absolutely, it's not employing anybody. And so there's always that education, and then there's a function of like, hey, is it the highest and best use both from an economic standpoint for a partnership with the city? Yeah, is it respectful to nearby residences? Based on the use, and we always try to mitigate any concerns that we can. One location we even eliminated the trucks because it was in their estimation too close and would use a side road that was really just for residential use exclusively, and it wasn't good for it. And so we accommodated and we built around that. Yeah. And so we always try to, because if it's not good in the short term and it's not good for everybody, absolutely, it's not going to be good in the long term.
No, not going to be good for anybody.
But we saw a lot of people after we opened that came in and they were like, hey, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't for you guys coming here. I had different plans for that or whatever, but like, I'm glad you guys are here. This is awesome.
Like, I love that.
Thank y'all.
That's cool. And that's what I was saying is, like, I think at the end of the day, sometimes you have to, if you build it, they will come again. Like, it's cliche as that is, but it's the truth, and we've done it a lot in marketing and advertising and business building. Is sometimes it's not even just proving a concept. It's proving what is factual to everyone else. And once they see it and they go, wow, this is really cool. And like, I'm touching on the employment, what you're going to do with local things and schools and all that fun stuff. So that's awesome. Yeah,
this facility, once the car wash is open, will employ a total of about 65 people.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Well, I want to wrap things up. We try not to keep these too long, but I do have a couple of questions I want to kind of wrap up.
Lightning round?
Yeah, this is lightning round. Ready to go. Bing! Everyone at this day and age seems to like really need good people, great people. And with y'all's concept of what you're trying to do, you mentioned like, from everything, you want to have a level of excellence. Are you guys hiring? And if so, is it specific locations, or where can people even go apply? Because I want to make sure that if y'all are looking for somebody and people are looking, then y'all have the opportunity to grab them. Yeah,
the good thing is that we have great people, and we don't lose a lot of people.
It's good.
Particularly in middle and upper management. We've had average tenure. It's a long time. People come with us and they stay, and but given the nature that we have such a heavy general staff with across the board car wash, some seasonal work, we're pretty much always hiring at most locations. And so if you go on our website, you can look and you say apply, join the team, and you can even funnel it down to specific jobs or specific locations, or you can just apply for any of them to say, hey, I'm open to this area, I'm open to a couple of different things. We provide training, provide all the resources, and we really try to make a career out of it.
That's awesome.
Looking at my leadership team and executive team, not one, maybe 2 or 3 out of 12 were hired for the job that they're doing today.
Gotcha.
And so they all started at lower level, or sometimes a much lower level, and worked themselves up. And so we really try to have a culture that identifies that, rewards that, and squeezes the best out of people and squeezes them up.
I love that.
And so we really think we're a great place to work.
Yeah. Plug that website. Where do they go?
Thanks. So fuelcity.com.
There you go.
And then on the top ribbon, you can go to apply now.
Okay.
And so that'd be awesome. So kind of all across the board, and looking for good people. And man, you can build a store, good location, all this stuff. But if you can't operate it well, then you won't stay in business.
Yeah.
And operating it well means getting the right people. And so absolutely.
I love that. I'm going to ask you a tough question. This is that lightning round. Based off of the Fuel City story that you sat here and told us of, kind of went crazy and said, I'm going to buy this 7 acres of land and then watch it build, and said, I'm done, to you coming into the equation and saying, we've proven it, let's expand. What is a single piece of advice that, if anyone in the business community is listening, what's a single piece of advice that you could give based on y'all's story?
Oh, man. That could be a podcast in and of itself. Not that I have a lot of good advice, but that's just such
as you go.
Such a good question.
Yeah.
I'd say probably, man, sticking it to one thing. This is something I've been thinking about a lot recently. Is, man, working on your business and not working in your business. And that is a challenging,
very, very much so,
task, because I love what I do. I love my business.
Yeah.
But running the business and shepherding it and stewarding it and casting a vision and growing it, you really can't be in it.
Yeah.
And work on it.
I agree.
And so I'd say, and that's a big idea, and there's a lot of resources that can help you kind of understand that.
Yeah.
The E-Myth book, I think it's called The E-Myth by Gibbons. Maybe I can send it to you and put a link. But it's a great book about specifically that topic. But so I'd say that, and then also, be excellent at whatever you do. Be the best at whatever you do. Back to that quote I was talking about by George Washington, like, do the common things in an uncommon way. So whatever that is, so if you're a dry cleaners, or if you're a restaurant, or if you're a coffee shop, and then so in the business, and just find your niche and be excellent at it and be passionate about it and have a mindset that says, I'm going to be the best at this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, not to prove other people wrong or not to disqualify.
Just because
it's what you're doing. And so everything that you do, if it's worth doing, do it to 100%.
Absolutely.
110%.
Yeah.
And so be passionate about it, have a mindset of success for whatever it is that you're doing, and try to be the very, very best at that.
Love that.
And then in order to do that, get really, really good people, build a good team, have some people that work in the system, and really they're not working in the business, they're working processes. So
there you go.
Put out SOPs, figure out how your business is designed to run. So you hire people they know what they're doing and they're working those SOPs, and then you can continue to work on your business with the mindset of growth. If you want to grow,
if that's your direction, right. But I think it makes sense. It makes sense across the board, even if your mindset is not growth. I think that you still, if you have a really good business, a single location or a single concept, but you still focusing on those principles, I think they still apply, even if it's not growth that you're ideally looking for.
I mean, in this, like we are in this for the long run. It's multi-generational, but just for all those businesses that are going through transactions and M&A, and whether they're acquiring or their targets, that's just another truth is that the more involvement that the owner has, the more involvement that the CEO has in the business, it devalues your company. It's a direct relationship. The more involved they are, the lower value your company is going to be.
Right.
And that's just from a valuation standpoint, but it's also just from a concept standpoint, because you want it to run independent of you so that you can observe it, not be in it, work on it, and direct it.
Yeah, you can't be so singular. I mean, that's something that we've even gone through on our end, is that you can't be so singular as that in the beginning. And I think a lot of businesses go through this in the beginning. Kind of has to be you. It has to be you.
You're doing everything.
You're literally doing everything. But I think you turn a certain page, and it's things all businesses go through. It's those growth kind of pains that you're navigating it as you go, and then you realize that you're probably going to have to spend money to be able to do the things that you want to do. And you go, okay, means I'm going to make maybe a little less, but it means I'm going to be able to bring somebody on board that I'm going to be able to train and lift up, and then I can go work on another piece of it and continue to expand. And so I think a lot of people go through that. So, we'll plug the book. You can shoot me a text or something, let me know. We'll plug that book. But, man, that is all my questions, and I just have to say thanks for coming on and being a part of this and going with me on one of these crazy ideas for our first episode. And so,
man, I'm honored that you asked me
to
be on the show and talk with you. And this is, great questions. And really enjoyed it. And hope we can do a podcast sometime about the graveyard shift.
We're doing that. That's for sure. We'll start another brand just for that. We'll call it like Graveyard Shifts, and we'll just do interviews with people that have graveyard shifts. So
third shift stories.
That's it. Third shifts from the third. I don't even know. We'll come up with a name for it. But hey, you guys, I just want to say something to y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you like, subscribe, whatever channel you're watching this on, so that way you can see the next ones that are coming out. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Joseph, appreciate you being here, and we're going to let these people go. So have a good one, man. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to the Dine Shop Play Texas podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe on all platforms. See you next time.